Good evening, welcome to the Select Board meeting of March 23rd, 2026, 6 p.m. in Room 3 of Town Hall. Excuse me, the first matter on the agenda is the signing of the warrant, gentlemen.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we sign the warrant, please.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Excuse me. Second item is approval of the regular session minutes, March 9th, 2026.
Yep. Motion to approve the regular session meeting minutes from March 9th, 2026.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Next is the approval of the executive session minutes, March 9th, 2026.
Yes. Motion to approve the minutes of the executive session, March 9th, 2026.
And I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That's unanimous. We do not have any public hearings this evening. Scheduled appointments, we have folks from Milford TV concerning the annual report. Come on up and please introduce yourselves. Hello.
Oh,
Good evening, gentlemen.
good evening, Tim.
Always strange to be on this side of the cameras in this room. I'm Tim Coet. I'm the Executive Director for Milford TV. I'm joined here this evening by Michelle Zale. She's our Chair of our Board of Directors. Jerry Moody, a member of our Board of Directors as well.
So, Tim, tell us about the annual report.
You all have a copy of our annual report. This is from our fiscal year, July 24 to June 25. Another great year for us at Milford TV. I've been the executive director now since the end of 2022. Just continue to be very proud of what our organization is able to accomplish in this community. I think first and foremost, it takes a special community to be able to have the success that a cable TV station like ours has, and we have that here in Milford. There's a lot of people who really care what goes on in this community, are very invested in this community, and they want to know what's going on. They want to know what's going on in their local government, in their schools, across the board, and we're so happy every year to be able to deliver the information, the entertainment, the news that everyone in this community is continuing to crave. So, I certainly can't do it alone. I want to make sure that I acknowledge the team that we have in place at Milford TV, which we've had full continuity in our staff and our board for the last 2 years, which has really helped to continue to bring us forward in a positive direction. A lot of you know Chase, who's in the back of the room right now. He's our community event coordinator. Everyone who's able to tune into all of the municipal meetings in Milford, Chase is at almost every single one of them. He does a tremendous job with producing live music at our studio. He's terrific with post-production, giving all of our productions just a top quality look. Dominique Charest-Champa, who's our member services coordinator. She quarterbacks all of our activity in our studio with our members, with our volunteers, with our interns. She's also doing a lot of hard work post-production wise for us as well. Patrick Garapi, who's our production coordinator, is out with me on live productions across the community constantly, all of our live sports, any live productions that we're doing at the schools, really anywhere around town. He's there. He's mentoring our members and our volunteers that are out with us. So I have a great team behind me that does tremendous work all the time. And our board of directors gives us steady leadership as well. Michelle has been terrific with me, especially once I took on this position, really mentoring me and making sure that I was in a position to succeed. Jerry's been in Milford a little while. He has some knowledge that he brings to the table.
Reading fast.
But our entire board, Josh and Jemmy, who continues to be our treasurer, he has been since our inception, really helps keep the ship moving financially in a really responsible way. Jonathan Capisi, who's our representative from the school committee as well. So throughout our organization, we have just great people working hard, and that's what it takes for us to be able to do what we do every day.
Thank you.
Gentlemen?
Yeah, just, Tim, thank you, and Michelle, thank you, and Jerry, too, for coming and sharing that with us. your continued work in keeping our residents informed and connected is very important. What you said, that we said that you were a special community that made you a success, but you have a special team that also made you a success, and we are really happy to partner with you. And thank you. You've been a real plus to our community. Thanks so much.
And we appreciate that. Thank you.
Tim, as I said earlier, you heard me earlier today say, and I say the same to you, it starts at the top. And with your leadership, that's how you surround yourself with the good people that you have. And I sit here and I think about having served the town for a while, those famous TV commercials and shows that we used to do back in the day in the back of the Comcast building, in that archaic studio with Al. And then when we, moved across to South Main Street into the new location, it was like, wow, this is really, but now the new studio is just, over the top. So just using that as an example, you see the progression of how things have moved along over time. But your involvement in the community, and I say this all the time, and people used to say to me, well, I never listened to that, or I never watched that, but yet when something would come up, they say, the other night I happened to flick back and I saw you at the TV station, and I said, well, I thought you didn't watch that. It's local media. Everybody watches and listens to local media. It's just,
It is.
that's why it's there, And so, all the years of dealing with Milford TV, the professionalism is just over the top. It really is. And to watch it on a local level, and the talent right here in this room, it's just, So, congratulations, great job to you and your team, and thank you, for everything you do in this community. It means a lot.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Well, I think they all said it. You do a great job, there's no question about it, and you do a great job in an area where, sources of local information have diminished to literally just a few sources. I mean, if you look at Milford, there's no real newspaper coverage about local government, schools, school sports. It's Milford TV or WMRC, and I think from a local perspective that you folks offer top notch. You're the go-to. I think the other sources actually watch Milford TV to find out what happened at meetings and things of that nature. So, you're really, for lack of a better, you stepped into a complete vacuum. There's just no, people say that to me. I get that from people. What happened at the selectmen's meeting about this or that? And I tell them, go on to the local TV station, and you can watch, the tape version of it, to include other meetings that take place where they're looking for information. Can't really source it, other than to actually go watch the actual meeting. So I think you do a great service for this community.
And that's a perfect segue into two aspects of it that I want to talk about.
Sure.
And just have a moment.
Absolutely, please.
And, times are difficult for the cable television operation, and we've put in a request to have an article in the warrant which would basically give the group access to the very minimal 50 cents per subscriber fee that's paid by the cable companies to the town. And it's not what it once was for reasons that the whole income of the organization dropped because subscribership dropped. So here's the article that, with your approval, will be in the warrant. And when I say small, the value of it is about $2,500 now.
Thank you, Chair.
If it passes. It would be like an annual vote we do for the school department and their machines. We annually vote to take the money that they bring in the machines.
Right.
This is the last item that can support the cable television that is simply the cable television money. As you know, we, not many years ago, went from 4% of gross revenue by the companies to the maximum allowed under federal law, which is the 5% of gross revenue. So that's what we're getting now. But the problem is, or a problem, is the gross revenues go down. This is, that's the old chart that tells you a few things. 2013 happens to be the year that the organization began operations, when everything was turned over. And you see the subscribers then, they were over 10,000. People have been cutting the cable, obviously, we all know that. And we're down in 2024 to almost 50%.
Right.
And that obviously has an impact on that 5% of gross revenues. Fortunately, it's not a dollar for dollar or position for position impact, because they do increase their rates, unfortunately, for all of us who pay them. So that helps somewhat. But the revenues to this organization have dropped considerably. Thus, the staffing has dropped considerably. So the ability to continue to do and improve what we do is getting very, very difficult. The day may come when the town may have to help, but we're trying to avoid that right now. So this article is a very minor aspect, but with an organization like this, when you live on the edge, $2,500 can make a lot of difference. So we'd like to have that article approved and go forward. So that's one part of what I asked you tonight. The other part is that coincidentally, the agreement under which we operate, executed 5 years ago, has now expired. It has a provision in there to renew it for another 5 years. We've made some amendments along the way, as you know, so I'd also be asking you to renew that agreement tonight, if you would, for another 5 years and continue forward. So if you could, take those two votes, if you would, one to support the article and one to approve a renewal, which then I'll draft and give to Rick, and we'll put it together for your signature.
A motion, Mr. Chair, first of all, to support the article that Attorney Moody just described to us in detail for the annual town meeting coming up in May.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That's unanimous. And you need an article, Jerry, to...
Well, a vote from your board to approve a 5-year extension of the agreement, which then I'll draft and come back to you. It'll come back to you.
A motion to approve the 5-year extension for the Milford Cable TV that was in the agreement.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous.
Thank you.
Did I get something? Can I think? No, that's it. That's it. I'm trying to think of something. So successful there, I thought.
You're on a roll.
We might as well keep going.
To add in the equipment?
No, we better let go for now. We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that later. Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good night now.
For everything.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Next item on the agenda is the town administrator's report.
Actually, tonight, gentlemen, I do not have a report. It was a quiet 2 weeks. I apologize.
One time that I call it outright.
I know.
Next item on the agenda is old business. I do not see any old business, gentlemen, unless you have something you'd like to
You're not,
raise.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, no, thank you.
Our new business, town administrator concerning a recommendation of the Director of Municipal Services.
Yes, as the board knows, the new position was created. It's the Director of Municipal Services. It encompasses the duties of the highway surveyor, but in addition, it adds basically other duties, the transfer station, possibly dealing with stormwater, dealing with just a whole list of other. The job description is in your packet. Also, we did receive 34 applications. We narrowed it to 3. 3 candidates were interviewed by myself and Human Resources Director Kristen Melpignano. We are recommending, or I am recommending, that Scott Christofoli, our current highway surveyor, be appointed to the position. As you know, this will now be a appointed position under Article 2, but actually it's a contract position. So any appointment, should you approve it tonight, would be subject to negotiation of a contract with Mr. Christofoli, which we would then bring back to the board for a vote and signature. I think you're all familiar with Scott, so that I don't need really to say too much about his credentials, so to speak. So that would be the recommendation. Again, we'll come back to you probably pretty quickly within the next 2 meetings to finalize it. So again, no longer an elected position, it's an appointed position by this board, and it will be a contract position to be negotiated with this board. I believe he reports directly to the town administrator and the select board, so obviously you had access to him before, you should have even more access with the position now being under your jurisdiction.
Any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
No, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion.
Yeah, just a little brief, too, because, where Ricky was telling us about being the highway surveyor and the job description is exactly what he's been doing for the past 20 years, but he's been with the town for 30 years. He has a strong foundation of the position that is now created for him, and what makes this very important, too, is that the position also is modernized to what it should be today, as it was supposed to as just a highway surveyor, which is why, the appointment was necessary to modernize the services that he was now providing for the town. So I move, Mr. Chairman, my Select Board member, Michael, that the Select Board approve the appointment of Scott Christofoldi as the Director of Municipal Services, also recognizing his prior service as a highway surveyor, but this appointment is contingent upon the negotiation of a contract, and that he will be allowed to work as soon as possible.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That's unanimous. I don't think he's going to be taking any time off, so
No.
we're okay.
I don't think so, no.
Next item on the agenda is Town Administrator concerning seasonal license renewals.
Yeah, we just have 2. It's Maspinock Rod and Gun Club, 1 McGill Lane, and also the Sons of Italy Dramatic and Sportsman Club, Inc. on 55 Depot Street. Those are the only 2 that would be asking you to renew their license.
Motion?
A motion, Mr. Seeing or hearing no outstanding issues, I move that the Select Board approve the renewal of the seasonal club licenses for Maspinock Rod and Gun Club Incorporated and Sons of Italy Dramatic and Sports Club.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And that is unanimous. Next item is Town Administrator concerning nomination of the Inspector of Animals, which is an annual.
Yeah, each year you're required to nominate an inspector of animals. Keith Haynes, who is also our animal control officer, is the person that's been serving in that position for a number of years now. So I would again recommend you appoint Keith to the position as the Inspector of Animals. He will have to sign a form, which will be notarized and then sent into the Department of Agricultural Resources.
Motion?
Motion, Mr. Chair, I move the Select Board appoint Keith Haynes as Inspector of Animals for the town of Milford, effective immediately.
And I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Last item under new business is the Town Administrator concerning the annual town meeting warrant.
Yeah, I
believe
thought-
we're putting that off.
Yes, if we could put it off to the next meeting. I can tell you there's about 18, 19, 20 articles, so it's not heavy in number. We do have one additional, there's a chance that we may be able to get a grant, an MVP grant, under the direction of the planning board and the town engineer. It does require some kind of match, both monetary and in kind. We want to get some additional information on that so we don't lose that opportunity if we think it's needed. That's kind of the reason for not approving it tonight.
Okay.
Very good. Invitation to speak. Is there anyone online, Andy?
No one's online.
No one online? No one in the audience seeking to speak to the board? Item H, correspondence, citizens for Milford. Beautification Day will be on April 25th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with a rain date of Sunday, April 26th from noon to 3 p.m. And they would like to invite the community to come and participate in the beautification, cleanup of different areas of the town that you'll be assigned to. And you can meet the organizers at the parking lot across the street from Sacred Heart Church on Route 16. Next item is My FM Media Group concerning the Fishing Derby, which will take place on Saturday, April 18th, down at Louisa Lake. And this is an annual event. They do stock the lake for purposes of fishing. So they're going to put 1,000 trout. On April 17th, they ask that you not fish until the Derby on the 18th. That's usually a well-attended event, so, but as I said, it's an annual event. And Rick, they asked if we would just ask the police chief to keep an eye
Yes, I will speak with Chief Casino.
on the trout for an evening.
Yeah.
Yep.
We do not have an executive session this evening. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please forward them to the town administrator, and we're happy to take a look at them. Take care.